Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, this is Austin here, bringing you guys a PvT matchup here on Metropolis. This is going to be between Liquid HerO, the red Protoss, at the right-hand position, that is the 3 o'clock position, and over at the 9 o'clock position is going to be EG's ThorZaIN, the blue Terran player. So this match is from DreamHack. I don't know exactly which round. Again, I've been getting rather lazy with checking the exact point in a tournament at which this particular game was played. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say quarterfinals. This is from DreamHack Winter 2012, which occurred something of a month ago, and it was the cumulative championship of all the DreamHack Tour of this year, because there's Stockholm, and then Summer, Valencia, Bucharest, and then finally Winter. So, heading into this match, I'd like to make a small comment about my intro. I hope you guys enjoy it. I've had it for something of a year now. My friend Half Decent Gaming, to me that's Matt, made it for me at my request about a year ago. And I used it for about a month and a half, 2 months, and then I decided to stop using it because I felt it was a waste of time for subscribers to watch it each video, and so on and so on. But I've gotten back into using it. I feel it's an awesome looking intro. It adds more of a personalized edge to my content. And I'd like to hear your guys' feedback. If you agree and you'd like to see this intro used in future videos, I'm going to continue using it until I hear otherwise, as I personally like it and I like the idea. But if you guys feel differently, do let me know. You're my #1 source of influence and feedback. But also on another note, if you notice different background noises and the audio isn't exactly the same as usual, this is because I'm casting this from my basement. Usually it is in an office room at a desk, so the projection is less open because I'm right near my router at the moment, so you might hear some network server computer fans running, and do know that I'm going to be back at my regular spot next time and every other cast after it. This is just a temporary adjustment. Now, we do see HerO's scouting probe getting picked off by ThorZaIN. He's not able to get in that base at all, and this probe is going to probably die since ThorZaIN has nice marine micro. I know that most of his both of these players were thrust into the spotlight as a result of their DreamHack success. ThorZaIN won an event earlier this year. He won Stockholm, I'm quite sure, over Polt. It might have been Summer, but no, Summer was mana over DMega, so he did win DreamHack Stockholm over Polt, and HerO won DreamHack Winter 2011, something like that, or DreamHack Summer 2011, one of the two, and that's really what brought him out into the international fray. I believe he did win that after he joined Liquid. He was formerly a player on OGS, so that's when he was a lot lesser known. ThorZaIN not able to get too much of a scout, but he does see this 1 gate, and I can imagine he's thinking 1 gate fast expand, and he's going for that 1 Rax fast expand. So, almost every PvT I've casted on this channel, I know I brought you a lot of HerO games, by the way. This is not on purpose, it's just Go-To Gamers tends to favor him in selecting their replays of the week. It's just the easiest way to get high quality replays, because sometimes in the past when I was casting series, it would just be totally at random, so there could be some really bland games or just so standard that it was dry. So that's why I'm glad that in these past few months I've moved on to single games that are really worth watching, and HerO's just been in a lot of them. Hopefully we'll see a bit more of a variety, but he's a skilled player. He's fun to watch. But as I was saying before, in a lot of the PvTs, I often just it's on the spot that I label them. So whatever player's name is, if I say HerO versus ThorZaIN, then I'm going to put PvT before that. But if I say ThorZaIN versus HerO for whatever reason, it'll be TVP. I don't really have a standard for how I label matchups. It just kind of happens. But a lot of this particular matchup that we've seen in my channel has revolved around the 1 gate fast expand versus 1 Rax fast expand, and it ends up with some really exciting Bio versus Protoss Deathball action, where Storms, Colossi, Vikings, Ghosts are the difference makers. The rest of the units just provide pure DPS. We do see a proxy pylon here from HerO at the bottom of the map. ThorZaIN is just trying, he was trying to pick off this scouting stalker. HerO's going to patrol it so that he knows if there's any sort of a push out coming, but HerO is building up a reasonably sized force here, canceling a forward pylon. I do hear the warp-in noises somewhere. I guess as it got cancelled, it still kept going. But it looks like HerO is trying to possibly draw ThorZaIN out and then catch him out of position here. There's one forward Marine. Very nicely done there from ThorZaIN. He's going to be able to hop in his bunker as soon as possible. I don't know if HerO's going to be able to do too much. He will have to force field well. ThorZaIN getting good mass repairs off. There's 3 force fields, and it looks like the bunker will likely die. These Marines focusing down a Zealot. Not sure if that's the best idea, but SCV's coming in from the front to repair this bunker. So this is not looking too good here for HerO. He's going to be able to pick off some SCVs while he's at it, but he will probably have to pull out for his own good. Focusing down a couple Marines there. ThorZaIN a little bit out of position, but he is building a second bunker here at his wall off. HerO is going to go around and try to attack these rocks leading into the third, but ThorZaIN's left a scouting Marine there too. It sniped a probe, and I was just going to see if it had 1 kill to confirm that, but it was killed before I was able to do it. That very nicely done there from ThorZaIN, holding this off, sending out that 1 Marine to confirm the fact that there was a strong push out coming, and then sending another down here just to ensure his opponent doesn't come from the back door, and he will now build a supply depot there to have permanent vision of this destructible debris. HerO openly attacking these destructible debris right here at the natural wall off, even though ThorZaIN knows it. HerO doesn't care. He's taking a lot of damage to 1 or 2 of these stalkers. One of them just does suffer shield damage, but the other one loses some health. So HerO is just keeping the pressure on, forcing ThorZaIN to put a lot of money into military units. There's a very nice stutter step there from the blue Terran, though. He's going to snipe all of these stalkers. Beautifully done here. 3 of them are going to survive, so not all of them, but the vast majority of these stalkers are dying. HerO warping in 3 more, but ThorZaIN will probably be able to get those 3 as well. Amazing stutter step. This is going to be close. It looks like HerO's marginally going to be able to come out on top here over those Marines, but wow, that was smart play. Just seeing I can break this and stimming in, coming out on top of that engage, forcing HerO to pull back entirely. I don't think he knows about that proxy pylon, but he's still able to get a good number of stalkers there. The resources lost. He's forged out a 625 resources lost edge over his opponent. Nicely done there from ThorZaIN. He's still bottled up, though. He's moving this factory out to scout, but ThorZaIN does have a stalker on each of the Zelnaga watchtowers. And he is also moving an observer out, so it looks like he's going to have this map vision edge over ThorZaIN, who has very little scouting. He's playing off prediction play at the moment. He's probably going to fly this factory into the third to see if his opponent is building a third base, which he's not doing. He only has a pylon here at the destructible debris. If you can dish it, you got to be able to take it, right? I like to adopt that mentality when commentating and when playing my own games, because if HerO's going to try to come from the back door, he has to be prepared to face off against a possibility of ThorZaIN doing it. The same can be applied to drops or different forms of aggression. You've got to be able to defend against what you attack with, because that might even give your opponent ideas. HerO is getting Colossi at the moment. He's going to have to deal with this bio pressure. He forced us. No, he did not force a stim out of ThorZaIN. For some reason, I thought ThorZaIN stimmed, but now he does force a stim out of him, predicting a third base. ThorZaIN was wrong and was unable to get any damage done with this stimmed bio, and he's not going to be able to get too much scouting, except for the fact that he did see the Colossus Den, as I like to call it, so that is crucial. That's all he really wanted to scout, was the fact that his opponent is going for Colossi. At ThorZaIN, his life is easy at this point. He's getting his 1 armor, and he's just going to be able to pump out Vikings off his tech. That's why I love Storm First so much in PvT. It is risky, it is costly, it's gas heavy, but if you're able to execute it well, you catch a Terran completely off guard and unprepared for what you're coming at him with, because when they're going 1-1-1 into Marine Marauder Medevac, MMM as many abbreviate it, they have the necessary infrastructure to build Vikings, and it's so easy just to change the, instead of pressing D when you're selecting your starports, you're just pressing V. And yes, I did know those 2 hotkeys. I was just wanting to show you specifically, but I guess in observer mode it doesn't show the exact hotkeys for each unit. And now, as soon as ThorZaIN gets a respectable Viking count out, he can make a solid timing and try to just kill his opponent outright. The HerO has perfect vision in this with his observer. ThorZaIN getting full saturation is third. HerO's only building his, but he is making a nice transition over to Twilight Council and then Templar Tech. He's getting another forge. He has 1 already finished that's just about to complete weapons level 1. chronoing out a Colossus. Sometimes you'll see Protoss players go double Robo Colossi, but that's a little bit of an overinvestment because then as soon as your opponent gets Vikings, it's hard for you to be able to tech out of it because you've dumped so much into Colossus tech. Now, HerO is going to have to micro well. He has his range. ThorZaIN already getting the Predictive Ghost Academy, though. That is a wonderful play here from our Swedish Terran player, Marcus Eklof. He figures his opponent is going to make that transition over to Templar, so he's just going to get the Ghost Academy, and the second he spots an Archives, he'll be able to pump out some ghosts and already have a counter for it. Smart move there from him. He stimmed only a couple Marines to be able to snipe that Scouting Zealot, so he did not waste too many resources on it. The HerO is moving some Stalkers over here. He had them in preparation for a defense against drops, but now he's going to move out here into his third base location. A lot of the Vikings aggressively moving over ThorZaIN's HerO's main force, but the Zealots are going to do a lot of damage to the bio. All the Vikings have gone down, and this engage looking very nice here for HerO. He's going to force field back the bio units. Those force fields are decent, a little bit on the desperate side because he wants to get bang for his buck. Nice use of Blink there. He's not quite able to get the full medevac, leaving it with just 10 health, but that engage looking great for HerO. He's able to come on top definitively, just because ThorZaIN was a little bit too aggressive with those Vikings. As I said, he just pushed out and was not prepared to... Oh, look at that medevac dying there. Nice move from HerO, chasing it down and making perfect use of Blink. But as I was saying, the Vikings moved... They overextended. They moved over the Stalkers. HerO had them upgraded with +1 weapons. He was just able to target all the Vikings down. And then as soon as these Colossi were able to get into that nice rhythm of just targeting down all the weak, vulnerable bio units, they were able to rack up something like 15 kills like this Colossus. Rank Master. HerO is now moving into his 2 weapons and 2 armor, getting charge as well. 5 more gates added on. While ThorZaIN does have the upgrade edge, he's getting his 3-3. He's getting that Mobius reactor. That's for his ghost starting energy. 5 Marines, 5 Marauders, 2 Vikings, but he's not getting ghosts quite yet. He doesn't need them. Though HerO is now starting his Templar Archives, it's going to be essential for him to scout that Ghost Academy. I don't know if he's been able to do it at all with his Observer. No, hasn't even seen a glimpse of the main. But if HerO scouts that, then he'll realize, okay, I don't really need to tech into Templar. Well, he's going to naturally have to tech into Templar, I guess, because ThorZaIN's getting his air weapons level 2, and he's just going to be able to demolish Colossi as long as he's able to micro his Vikings reasonably well. But he's going to have a mix of the two. So I guess, like I said at the beginning of the game, this is going to turn into that Bio versus Deathball battle, where Ghost Micro versus Templar Micro and Viking Micro versus Colossus Micro is going to denominate who wins this game. 5 Ghosts on the way out from ThorZaIN. They are going to greatly benefit from these 3-3 upgrades. HerO is getting a 4th base at the moment, but ThorZaIN is just a machine, pumping out so many units. He's going to need a higher medevac count, though. He's spending a lot of his resources on Vikings. I would say 6 Vikings with 2 weapons should be sufficient to deal with the amount of Colossi his opponent has. HerO is currently rocking 5 of these massive units, and the Vikings, we'll have to see. They're going to do 15 damage versus Armored, but without the 2 weapons, which they will likely have by the time the next engage comes. And there are 6 of them, so that is going to be 90 damage per volley, if I am not mistaken. And then the bonus damage that they're going to get with the next upgrade might further that. So there's 2 medevacs dying to the Blink Stalkers of HerO. He's able to get 2 Vikings as well. The damage on these Stalkers very high against armored unit, or whatever. Yeah, it's armored units. I don't think are medevacs armored? Yes, so he's able to get a lot of damage off on Vikings and medevacs. So just a little bit of blows being traded here. HerO knows about the ghosts, so he's still going to make Templar. He's got his Psionic Storm. He did make 2 Archons back at base with the Templar he had. I think he was just kind of fearing an imminent engage. But he's really abusing these Blink Stalkers. We've seen some of his other games recently on my channel. He's won games outright. He beat Tasia completely with Blink Stalkers alone. He's going to snipe 2 more Vikings there, and that puts him in a great position for this engage, because now his opponent's down to a Viking count of 3. He still has his 5 Colossi, and ThorZaIN has 5 Ghosts, but HerO only has 2 Templar. I mean, Ghosts can also wipe Protoss armies with EMP, which could be a huge difference maker, but the Viking count is definitely quite low. 4 more coming out at the moment. But there are going to be charge lot warp-ins here in the main of ThorZaIN, and that's going to draw some of his forces away, allowing HerO to engage with his main army, and keeping ThorZaIN to a degree out of position. The Vikings did move over to take out that warp prison. They weren't even able to do it because now they've got a call to action here at the main engage. Nice force fields there from HerO. He's able to trap a lot of the bio. Good EMPs though on the sentries. All of their energy depleted and all of their shields depleted as well. HerO's going to be forced back here, though he was able to engage quite well. His Vikings are now, his Colossi are now left very vulnerable. He's going to have to play it safe here, warping in more units at his reinforcement pylon that ThorZaIN never took out at the beginning of the game. A lot of the Zealots besieging these SCVs here for ThorZaIN. Well, HerO is the one that's benefiting from it, but ThorZaIN's the one that's falling victim to it. 16 workers killed so far from HerO. He's getting his gravitic drive. That's for his warp prism speed. Notice how I checked the upgrade name just to be sure. And he's pumping out another warp prism. I guess the one that he had originally did die. Here's another big engage, storming his own zealots, but he was originally intending to do so on his opponent's bio. A lot of these Colossi dying from Viking volleys. They are now doing something like 16 damage, and they're gonna have 17 probably as soon as that 3 weapons finishes. Though the charge lots are dishing out some punishment against ThorZaIN's bio ball. The Vikings really that positioning above this little neutral, inaccessible ledge with those buildings on it proved crucial, completely instrumental in that engage. The difference at this point though is that HerO has 4 bases and ThorZaIN does not, and the main of ThorZaIN is getting rather depleted. He's currently at a worker count of 58 to HerO's 77. HerO even getting a 5th. The factory of ThorZaIN is probably going to be able to see this if he moves it over just a tad. I'm still not getting my vision right, because if you press 1, it's ThorZaIN, and 2, it's HerO, but I always mix that up. We got this neutral creep tumor over here. Now that I've seen it, and now that you've seen it, you're not going to be able to unsee it. Every time I look at the minimap, I see this neutral creep tumor. So I'm not sure what that is exactly intended to prevent, but we do now have some bio destroying these charge lots because they are under attack. ThorZaIN's under attack by some charge lots warped in from a warp prism. With that gravitic drive, it will be able to escape safely, but nice damage done there from HerO. I think our unit's workers killed is at 26, very nicely done. I don't know what these creep tumors are meant to prevent. Are they killable? I'm not sure. Probably so. They must be. I honestly do not know. It looks like HerO is going to warp in on this island. But I was going to say to try to kill the creep tumor, but I guess not. If you guys know exactly what these creep tumors are intended for, do let me know, because that would be quite enlightening. But what's not enlightening for HerO is the fact that there's a Viking chasing down his warp prism, dealing a good amount of damage to it. It's too slow to be able to catch up. Our Red Protoss player is grouping up his mini little death ball here towards the middle of the map. He still does have vision of both Zelnaga towers, and he has another warp prism over here, so he must have stayed alive, and if it did not, then he built yet another one. He's getting his shields level 1 at this point. I think he does have 3-3. Yes, 3-3, and he's going to get shields. That will greatly benefit these Archons, who have vast majority of their life is from shields. Vikings now going to get their 3 weapons. ThorZaIN is only now researching Cloak for his ghosts. HerO's going to have to do a little bit of juking to get away from this Viking fleet, because 1 volley will probably destroy this warp prism. My computer lagging because it's like the O Fortuna, that epic song there. Nice storm drop though from HerO. He's able to get a decent amount of damage done and leave a zealot down there, even morphing in an Archon. So the Vikings forced to give up their pursuit. They do now do 17 damage versus armored and 13 damage regularly. That Archon sadly dying. HerO is moving in towards this 4th location, but it is a planetary fortress. Not sure if that's the best idea. The SCVs of ThorZaIN have been pulled though, so he's not mining at the moment, and his income definitely less than his opponents. HerO's at over 2,000 minerals per. Is this per minute? I'm quite sure it is per minute, and over 1,000 gas. Nice feedbacks on the ghosts there. 2 of them dying. A Templar will die as a result of a snipe. HerO's observer positioning is just lovely at this point. ThorZaIN building some. He had a sensor tower in the middle here. It did die, but he builds another over here. Beautifully done, because now he's going to have perfect vision of potential incoming drops. This range of the sensor tower is amazing. I would definitely encourage more Terran players to use them. That they can be completely crucial in preventing drop play, which HerO is completely abusing in this game, which has lasted 26 minutes and seems not to be going anywhere. as it's so back and forth. I honestly have no idea who's going to take it. The population is relatively even, though the income is greatly favoring a HerO. ThorZaIN proved that he could regain the advantage after he got a nice engagement position with his Vikings here, something like 7 or so minutes ago. Another 2 War Prisms just finishing there for HerO. I don't know how many he has left on the map. Both players just teetering on the edge of an engage. There's that poor Marauder just scouting things out. That must have been so painful. He was probably baked alive in his suit just by one shot from all these Colossi, which deal 21 damage, plus they are getting their Plasma Shields level 2. Level 1 has finished. So again, like I said, those Archons going to have bonus. Their shields gains additional armor, so that further adds to their Protoss ground armor. The Observer finally does die there. It's little pieces, just resting for all to see. And it's this massive Viking fleet from ThorZaIN. He probably has more Vikings and Ghosts combined than what Bio. I mean, that is a complete overstatement, but he does have a lot of Ghosts on the field with full energy. Quite dangerous if you're a Protoss player facing up against this. That's not to say that HerO's Templar don't have any energy themselves, as they are full as well. Here's a War Prism just warping in units and picking them up. I believe HerO's getting a 6th base. That's something a Zerg player would be doing maybe 10 minutes ago. Well, not 10 minutes, but probably about the 20-minute mark. A Zerg would be getting his 5th base, and then 25 or 26 his 6th. HerO is playing a hybrid Zerg Protoss like we see in the campaign of StarCraft 2, because he's getting so many bases. HerO is... ThorZaIN, on the other hand, however, is at 5 or so. A lot of snipes coming from ThorZaIN. Nicely done. He's able to get a good number of High Templar. A good storm came, and I think maybe a feedback or 2. But look at this multi-pronged aggression from our Protoss player. He's again warping in charge lots. ThorZaIN is indecisive. He doesn't know what to do. He's going to bring some of his bio over, but HerO's main army is such an impending threat that ThorZaIN needs to be very careful with how many forces he decides to bring over. He is currently at 5 bases, so he's building that 5th, though, and that's quite easily destroyed from HerO if he's able to just bring one more Prism in. There is a sensor tower, though, so ThorZaIN will be well prepared for that. These Zealots still ravaging the main base. They are going to kill a refinery. Not too much more, but that's such a pain if you're a Terran player just sitting there massing up your bio army, and then you hear base is under attack, and you just look over at your main and just facepalm, realizing, even if you're ThorZaIN, realizing that you've got to go deal with that, and you have to take exactly enough bio units to be able to destroy it, but not too many, because you want to be able to... Oh my god, you don't want to get stormed like that if you're a Terran player. Very nicely done from HerO. Oh my god. He was about to die. That War Prism was about to get destroyed with a High Templar in it. So he drops the High Templar, storms all the Ghosts, which tried to EMP a War Prism, picks them up again, and although he did die, got amazing amounts of damage off on those now weakened Ghosts. A lot of these Colossi in lucrative positioning, though, they are going to die. I'm coughing and just generally out of breath because of how awesome that was. Another storm coming from this High Templar. He's quite productive. And this Viking fleet is going to take a lot of damage from these 3-3-2 Stalkers. So let's just see if HerO's able to get his 3rd Shields upgrade and play like Creator Prime, who gets massive upgrades rather early in the game. Nice blink there from HerO. He might be able to escape with some of these Stalkers. It's like behind enemy lines, except not, because all the Stalkers are going to die. Dark Shrine was created not too long ago from HerO. I was so busy talking about that amazing drop from our red Protoss player that I did not even point it out. I saw it in the production tab. HerO's also going to get his Stargate. So we're seeing a lot of tech at this point in the game, except there's no fusion core from ThorZaIN. That's the one tech building I think he has not built to date. But HerO's covered all of it except for a fleet beacon. That is true. He's gotten every possible tech building except for a fleet beacon, and he will probably get one. Usually if you're this late in the game and you're a Protoss player, you're not just getting a Stargate to get pretty little Phoenixes or a couple carriers and Void Rays. Especially when you're up against such a Viking fleet, as it's not that much of a Viking fleet anymore. And yes, it is. There's 16 Vikings. What am I saying? I am getting loopy at this point because of how long I've been casting for. Yeah, you don't want to get carriers or Void Rays against this sort of a fleet. Just a mothership, and that's probably what we're going to see. This DT here is going to die. There was another one moved into the main, I believe so. A mule dropped to repair the tech of ThorZaIN. Several of these DTs, although they are visible to ThorZaIN, they're dealing a good amount of damage. It's very easy to be cost effective with DTs. And on a side note, HerO is getting Shields level 3. Look at how awesome that looks. We just do not see shields upgrades enough in this game. We always see the weapons and armor, but the game never usually goes on long enough for a Protoss to be able to get 3-3-3, which is exactly what HerO's doing. He's now going to have to pull back with this vulnerable Colossus force, and is going to get a nice storm off on a lot of Vikings, or not too many Vikings, just a decent amount of damage done, and I think he was able to feed back before getting that Templar snipe. So like I said, this is just those trades between these two players. Shields is getting close to finishing, probably getting chronoed like a madman from HerO. No, not quite, but it should be. He's also getting his fleet beacon, and is getting his 7th Nexus. I don't even know if I'm awake right now, or if I'm just hallucinating. That's even a pun, because that's a research from Protoss, which HerO has not gotten. That's one of the things he hasn't gotten in this game. He's getting a 7th base right now, ladies and gentlemen. I am Austin, here casting a game, a PvT, in which we see the Protoss get 7 bases. Just take a moment to take that in, and just accept that as reality, because I'm having trouble doing so. ThorZaIN is at 5, but our Protoss player has taken 7 bases, and he's now engaging here. A nice storm there on some of the bio. His charge lots running into the main, trying to deal some damage to this mini little ghost force, and another Templar is going to die there. So HerO, united we stand, divided we fall. These Colossi are going to fall if they're divided like this, because they have no anti-air with them. 3 more DTs warping in, and 4 Zealots. Just look at the income tab at this point. 2,200, around 2,200 minerals at any given time per minute for HerO. ThorZaIN is only at about 1,300. Only at about 1,300, ladies and gentlemen. He's only getting that many minerals per minute. HerO's bank is insane. I've got to say, he may lose this game if he falls victim to a bad engagement positioning, and then ThorZaIN just pushes out before he's able to reinforce, because HerO does not have too many gates. I mean, he has 20, but that's not too many. that would give him something like 40 supply at any given warp in, but with this many minerals, he's just going to need to pump out as many gates as he can. He's completely destroying ThorZaIN's main base here with DTs and charge lots. But yeah, with that bank, a lot of times people automatically think it's an auto win if you have a large bank. I disagree. A lot of Blink Stalkers here doing a bit of damage to ThorZaIN's force. They are going to die off, but I feel as though, like I said, if HerO loses his whole army in one shot, that could be a crippling blow, and he could lose the entire game. But it's looking very good for him, because ThorZaIN has 1,000 minerals, 1,000 gas. HerO has 4,000, 3,000, and nearing 4,000 gas. So I have to say, he can freely sacrifice as many Stalkers as he wants. He's now getting a Mothership. I would wait until that Mothership finishes before engaging. He's going to have a 3-3-3 Protoss Deathball with a Mothership. And that's so hard to deal with if you're ThorZaIN. You're going to have to EMP like a god, and maybe even nuke. That's something ThorZaIN could definitely do at this point in the game, is get some nukes and just see what kind of pressure he could put on with that. Because that would definitely force HerO to play very carefully and not overextend, because like I said, that whole army dies in one shot. It may not be so fine and dandy for our Korean Protoss player. ThorZaIN doing quite a marvelous job of massing up a Bioforce and maintaining a Bioforce. Some of these troops here are hardened veterans. We got a Marine in here with 1 kill. He's really seen his fair share of battles. No, I think it's more the Ghost Force from ThorZaIN that have been hardened and weathered many storms. Literally, they've weathered many storms from the High Templar of HerO. I'm making terrible jokes and terrible puns because I've been casting for 39 StarCraft minutes, and this Mothership is going to finish quite soon. All of HerO's upgrades are completed. There's another CC being built somewhere on the map. ThorZaIN's playing like MVP. He needs to just build 1,000,000 command centers here, and just make them into planetaries and keep a nice little fort so that HerO has a lot of trouble breaking it, as Starchill Squirtle did against MVP in the GSL Finals of Season 2 of 2012. But HerO has such a large bank. He has a maxed out force. He has 81 pros, while ThorZaIN only has 34 SCVs. ThorZaIN's minerals dipping below 1,000. Oh my god, this is unforeseen. Less than 1,000 minerals. Crazy. Who's ever heard of that? And ThorZaIN is a genius. He's getting nukes just like I told him to do. And this will make this game even more exciting than it already is. Truly, it's been an incredible game. Having casted a TVP this insane ever. I haven't even seen one. It sucks that I did not see this when I was tuning into that DreamHack Winter. Good storm on some of the ghosts there. One Colossus dying in pretty much one volley, but a beautiful storm on all the Vikings. They walked back into it. Must have tasted good or felt good or something. But HerO's going to lose us a lot of stalkers here. Doesn't matter. He can warp them all back in one shot. But ThorZaIN's Bioforce still headstrong, but HerO is just warping in 10 zealots at a time. He has a mothership that ThorZaIN now knows about. He's got a lot of stalkers and Archons and not too many High Templar at this point. No, only 10 caster units, but ThorZaIN actually does have 18 ghosts, so 10 is not too much compared to that. The Protoss Death Ball streaming out across the map. This mothership is going to try to group up. If HerO gets a successful Archon toilet off on maybe the Viking fleet, or just gets a better engagement position because of a Vortex, I'm going to just be hysterical on the ground laughing. You won't have a caster anymore. You'll just have a maniac just laughing because of how crazy that would be. I would love to see an Archon toilet. But maybe this isn't too much of a Christmas game. I've gotten everything I've asked for, but maybe I'll just get a lump of coal and we won't see a Vortex. But we'll have to see what happens here. A lot of EMPs and snipes and ghost shots coming off. This mothership dies without being able to cast anything. So that truly was a lump of coal in a game that's been full of a lot of Christmas presents. There's a nice defensive storm there from HerO. Another one going to deal a lot of damage to these ghosts. One of them even dying there. I mean, that must suck if you're a ghost and you're just controlled by the mastermind who's ThorZaIN, because you're like, no, there's a storm, I don't want to go in there. And then you do, and you die. A bunch of Templar getting sniped and EMP there from ThorZaIN. So HerO looking great at this point. He's got 7k minerals, 5k gas, not quite, just about. I don't know what to say at this point. There is another engage here. One Colossus dies, and it doesn't even matter. HerO's got 2 on their way at a time. He's building his mothership again. So maybe he'll just wait for that mothership, get one Vortex off, and just run everything in, and then just close his eyes, sit back, and spam a bunch of hotkeys in his base to respawn all the units he may have lost, because that's how much money HerO has at this point. It's funny, because EG's the team with all the money. I'm not saying Liquid doesn't have it, but EG's always been known to be filthy rich and all these different jokes, especially with their little video geniuses following. But in this game, the roles are reversed. HerO's the filthy rich one, and he's looking to win this game here against ThorZaIN from DreamHack Winter 2012. Both of these players coming from DreamHack glory in their past. Good number of storms there. Nice trade-off from HerO. He hasn't dipped below 190 population. A lot of casters freak out when a player goes under 100 population late in the game. If HerO goes below 190, I'm going to start freaking out. I'll just be like, and HerO's gone under 190 population. Oh my god, he actually has. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm ready to call this. No, of course not. HerO is just looking great at this point. ThorZaIN, I'm not trying to take anything away from him. I know I've sounded kind of snobby and rude towards our Blue Terran player, but he's played phenomenally, man. I mean, imagine being ThorZaIN and dealing with so many drops and just this incredible aggression from HerO, and just continuing to fend it off. And even getting your high-sec auto-tracking for bonus range on planetary fortresses and missile turrets. Even getting your Terran building armor. Who does that? ThorZaIN, because he's just a monster. And HerO at this point is going to have his mothership quite soon. I don't know which base he built it at. We will have to see. Right here. It's just about to finish. But I don't even know if he'll need it at this point, because he's just... there will be one last final hurrah from ThorZaIN. He's at 148 population, don't get me wrong. And if we look at our supplies, it's only 10 difference. So don't think that ThorZaIN's done yet. If he gets a good number of EMPs and such off, then that could be huge. Did he ever... he must have nuked somewhere, and I missed it, because he was building a nuke, and I didn't see it anywhere. There's 4 ghosts all dying together. How romantic. So if there was a nuke that I missed out on, then you can... I don't know, get mad at me, and I'll maybe look through this replay in more detail in the future and see if there's a nuke, and then if there is, I'll make a separate video about it. How about that? I'm a nice guy like that. Here comes ThorZaIN, slowly chugging out across the map, but he's just going to punch out a GG there. He's at 137 population, HerO's almost maxed out, and I think he just realizes it's futile at this point. My opponent has a monstrous bank, and there's not much I can do. Anyways, guys, I don't have anything left to say. I think I've said everything there is to say in these past 30-some-odd real-life minutes. Hope you enjoyed this game as much as I did. I had a blast casting this, and I will definitely be bringing you more content in the days and weeks ahead. See you guys then. Peace.